The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
Before the feast of Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to pass from this world to the Father. He loved his own in the world, and he loved them to the end. The devil had already induced Judas, son of Simon the Iscariot, to hand him over. So during supper, fully aware that the Father had put everything into his power and that he had come from God and was returning to God, he rose from supper and took off his outer garments. He took a towel and tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and dry them with the towel around his waist. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Master, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered and said to him, "What I am doing you do not understand now, but you will understand later." Peter said to him, "You will never wash my feet." Jesus answered him, "Unless I wash you, you will have no inheritance with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Master, then not only my feet, but my hands and head as well." Jesus said to him, "Whoever has bathed has no need except to have his feet washed, for he is clean all over. So you are clean, but not all." For he knew who would betray him. For this reason he said, "Not all of you are clean." So when he had washed their feet and put his garments back on and reclined at table again, he said to them, "Do you realize what I have done for you? You call me teacher and master, and rightly so, for indeed I am. If I, therefore, the master and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash one another's feet. I have given you a model to follow, so that as I have done for you, you should also do." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
On Palm Sunday, I asked a question. Are we aiming at Jesus? The word most commonly used for sin in the Bible means missing the mark. But missing the mark assumes we're actually aiming at the mark. Our faith calls us to make Jesus the mark we aim at. Are we truly aiming at the mark of Jesus? Maybe we're aiming to be close to Jesus. Maybe in the vicinity of Jesus, the general direction of Jesus. Or maybe we're aiming at Jesus in some parts of our lives, but not in others. We want to fit in. We don't want to stand out as too holy, so maybe we're aiming to be close to Jesus, but not too close. Each day of Holy Week presents us with a different image of Jesus. So the question becomes, are we aiming at the mark that is that particular image of Jesus? On Palm Sunday, we were given the image of Jesus who was obedient. He accepted the Father's will, even when it led to the cross. This day, we are presented with the image of Jesus, the servant. Jesus served throughout his ministry. He healed others even when it got him in trouble. He fed large crowds. He stood up for people. And in our gospel today, we hear that he washed the feet of his disciples. That was the job of the servant, not the master. Jesus got down on his knees and he washed 12 pairs of very dirty feet. I mean, it was the days when at best they wore sandals, if they weren't barefoot. And the roads were dusty or muddy. Believe me, Father Vincent and I are very glad that that's not the way it is here today. Washing feet might have been the lowest job a servant had to do. And Jesus did it voluntarily. And then he said, this is what he's about. He said he came not to be served, but to serve. And then he lived that out in what might be the humblest way possible. This day is also referred to as Maundy Thursday, from the word mandatum. This isn't a suggestion to serve. It's a mandate, a command. So that takes us back to that question. In reference to the image of Jesus we see this night. Are we aiming at the mark that is Jesus the servant? Are we aiming at the one who served constantly throughout his life? Are we trying to be just close to Jesus, in the general direction of Jesus? Are we aiming at Jesus in certain parts of our lives, but not others? Are we aiming at Jesus as servant with certain people, but not others? Just after Jesus washed the feet of his disciples, he went into what is referred to in the gospel as the Last Supper discourses. And in it, Jesus gave them a new commandment. They were to love others as he loved them. That's the mandate to serve. Not sometimes, or in some situations, or with some people, but at all times, and all situations, and with all people. Are we aiming at the mark that is Jesus the servant?